This video will show you how to do problems when two different exponent laws are involved. Notice we have something raised to a power, but we also have this 2x to the fifth outside of the parentheses, meaning multiply. We have to follow order of operations. Order of operations says we should do what's inside parentheses first. Well, there's nothing to do inside there. So the next thing is to come out here and evaluate this exponent. This is our power rule. It has to be done first. So this 2 is going to have to be distributed through both of those into the parentheses, giving us this. It's going to have to be 3 to the second power. When we apply the rule that says raising a power to a power we multiply, that's where the 4 comes from. Notice the 2x to the fifth stays outside the parentheses like it was before, but we do need to multiply those together. Now we can finish evaluating this right here. The 3 squared gives us 9. This now is the other rule. This is the product rule. When multiplying things with a common base, we are going to add the exponents. The 2 and the 9 are regular coefficients. We just multiply those. 2 times 9 gives us 18. With the x to the fifth times x to the fourth, keep the base and add the exponents. With this one, same idea. We're going to have to apply this cube on the outside to everything inside the parentheses. This part in front here means multiply. It's just going to stay there on our first step. So distribute the 3 into everything. This is 4 cubed. If we do x squared raised to the third power, that means we're going to multiply those. That's where we're getting 6. Remember, this is a y to the first, and if I multiply 3 times 1, I get a y cubed. Now we need to apply our product rule, which says multiply the coefficients. They're just plain old numbers after we evaluate this 4 to the third power. The 4 to the third power gives us 64, and the rest of this just stays the same. Now we're ready to multiply negative 3 times 64 and apply our exponent law to the x's and to the y's. So negative 3 times 64 gives us negative 192. With the x's, x to the fourth times x to the sixth, keep the base, add the exponents. 6 plus 4 gives us 10. For the y's, keep the base of y, add those exponents of 7 plus 3. This problem happens to have 2 sets of parentheses that need to be raised to a power, so I need to evaluate the power rule twice before I think about doing this multiplication right there. So if we distribute this 3 into this parentheses, we're going to have 3 cubed. 5 times 3 gives us x to the 15th. For the y's, keep the base, multiply those. On this set of parentheses, because I'm raising a negative to a power, I'm keeping that negative 2 in parentheses. And then apply your power rule, keep the base, multiply 2 times 2 gives me 4. Keep the base for the y, 6 times 2 gives me 12. Now before I do that multiplication right there, I need to do this little bit of arithmetic. Negative 2 times 2 is going to be a positive 4, because anytime you raise a negative to an even power, it's a positive value. So evaluated this out is 27. Bring down the powers on the x and the y. Evaluate the negative 2 squared is a positive 4 times x to the fourth times y to the 12th. On the previous ones, we've just done this next step in our head, but like I showed you on the first video, an option for you, if you need it, on this last step using the product rule, you can rewrite everything. 27 times 4, there's your like terms next to each other. Put your x's next to each other, put your y's next to each other, and then do your rule. 27 times 4, those are plain old coefficients, just multiply them up and get 108, and then do your rule with the x's and the y's, giving you this final answer. 27 times 4 is 108. With the x's, we're keeping that base, add the exponents. Keep the base, add the exponents. So those are some problems that show you both rules being worked together. You have to do the power rule first before you come down and do any multiplication rule.